action. To access the game you want to watch, simply press the red button on your remote right now and choose the appropriate match number. And later, Graham Stewart will join me in the studio to look at the day's key moments. So let's get to the action. As ever on Sky Sports 1, we have match 1. Second place Wigan suffered their first defeat in 9 last week, but against Arsenal, but have still made a wonderful start to their first ever Premiership season. Today they faced a Tottenham side who had slipped off the pace in recent weeks. Commentary on what was the first ever meeting between the sides is from Warren Barton and Jim Proudfoot.
Wigan make one change to the side that was beaten by Arsenal, with goalkeeper John Filan paying the price for letting Robin van Persie's shot slip under his body. And after a performance that didn't scale the heights of some of his other eye-catching displays this season, he's replaced by Mike Pollitt. Pascal Chimbonda, reportedly a Bayern Munich target, despite agreeing a new Wigan deal, is one of 6 outfield players still ever present in the Premiership. Tottenham may have been caught in the last minute by West Ham, but that's no reason for Martin Jol to change the side, with Robbie Keane still preferred to Jermaine Defoe as strike partner for Mido. Michael Carrick makes his 50th appearance for the club. There's still no Wayne Routledge, even though he continues to make good progress after the foot injury sustained on his debut in August. 4 years ago last week, Wigan lost to Canvey Island in the FA Cup. Now they're second in the Premiership, an indication of the progress made in such a short space of time. Both they and Tottenham start today in the top 6. Their ability to stay there could well be exposed today. It's the kind of fixture that's likely to be a barometer of how their fortunes might fare over the next 6 months. The sort of game that both might well expect to win if they're to be in the top 6 at the end of the season. Mido dropping deep, Tainio's ball forward, and Chimbonda can let it run through for Mike Pollitt back in the starting line. It's the only change that Paul Jewell has made to the side beaten by Arsenal.
No, Jim, I think you're absolutely right. I think if any of these teams want to qualify for Europe and stay up there, particularly with this heavy Christmas period and New Year games coming along, they've got to get a result today, and that's why I think it'll be an open game. Both teams like to play football.
Genus in the Tottenham midfield again today. It's the first ever meeting between these two sides. Never previously met in cup competitions, and surprisingly it is the first ever league encounter. Leighton Baines preparing to take the throw for Wigan. Bullard. Baines with a bit of time to measure his cross. Well attacked by Damien Francis, and an early corner to Wigan.
Yeah, good defending there by King, but Wigan do ever so well. They work it well on that left-hand side and put a wicked cross in, but King has been excellent all season here. Barnes gets in and just puts it into an area, not really looking to pick anybody out, but there's King just to snuff it out.
Swung in by Bullard, and a chance for McCulloch. He couldn't keep it down, but it took another touch, and it will be another corner.
Yeah, good defending there by Mido. We expect this from Wigan now. The bodies are going in there. It's a good ball in there, but Mido just gets his body in the way and flicks it off. Good pressure, good delivery, and people committed to the calls.
A very bright opening couple of minutes from Paul Jewell's Wigan. Bullard just asked to wait a moment. A bit of over-exuberant jockeying for position. Chimbonda battling, trying to get away from Ledley King's shackles. In the end, the corner swung straight out of play for a goal kick.
No, he's had an outstanding season so far. Bullard didn't really quite get a chance at Upton Park, but he's come here, learnt his trade. Fantastic strike against Arsenal last week. And he's a player that Martin Jol, as well as 1 or 2 others, they have to keep their eye on.
They have been linked with a move to White Hart Lane over the summer. They were talking about a potential swap deal for Tottenham's Michael Brown. Failed to materialise. Brown back on the bench today, incidentally, for Spurs. Helped on by Mido. Robbie Keane is 2 goals short of 50 for Tottenham now. Chases. Foul on Edgar Davids. Gives Tottenham a free kick. Their first chance to get Dawson and King forward from the back. Just dropping it short for Edgar Davids and a bit of space. Quickly closed out, and well won back. Chimbonda. Such a fantastic start to his Wigan career. Stalteri can get it back for Robinson. Poor clearance from here. Roberts. Ledley King gets it away. Robinson mightily relieved.
Yeah, unusual there for Roberts. He scuffed his kick, and that man Roberts got so much pace, but King was up for the task.
Chimbonda. Jimmy Bullard. Will there be an end product for Wigan's third early corner in this game? We don't make sure there isn't. It will be a Wigan throw. Good early pressure from the home side. Kavanagh. Dawson stooping to clear. Back for the Irishman. A shot from distance. Paul Robinson will claim that he had it covered and we're not too far away from Graham Kavanagh.
So every single player of Wigan is up for this game. They've got confidence. Doesn't matter where they are. They're willing to take a strike there, as Kavanagh was. I think Tottenham have just got to regroup. They expected this. You know, when you come into Wigan, their tails are up. You expect to come under pressure, but if they can weather the storm, then get their passing game together, I'm sure you see Tottenham to come into the game.
Nino backing into Stefan Olsho. Bullard wants to come close to handling that before it went out of play. Such was his enthusiasm to take an early throw. An awkward touch. Here's a chance. Robbie Keane. 1-0 Tottenham against the run of play. After defensive error from Arian Deseo. Spurs lead.
I told you they're coming back into the game there. They've got a helping hand by Deseo. It was an awful mistake. But when Robbie Keane gets into positions, he's bided his time, he's been patient, and he tucked that away. He's a class finisher. Here it's a ball just put into an area. Dezeo's got plenty of time, he's just done by the bounce, but there's only going to be one result. Robbie Keane, great little touch, side foot into an empty net. They needed to dig in, they needed to stay together, but take nothing away from Robbie Keane. He anticipated it well. It is a horrendous mistake, but at the end of the day you get punished in the Premier League. What I like about Robbie Keane, he just gets on with his game. It's a neat little finish. People are talking about him maybe leaving in the transfer window, but if you make mistakes like that in the Premier League, there's only one outcome when it goes to people like Robbie Keane.
Shows back pass. Pollard able to keep it in. Jermaine Defoe delighted that Tottenham are in the lead.
But yeah, he wished he was on there and tucking that one away. But no, I mean, it just shows you the quality now that Tottenham have got on the bench. An England striker sitting there, having to wait his time. But I don't think they've changed Wigan's game plan. I think they only want to play one way. They did it against Arsenal in recent times. Their head doesn't go down. They won't give up. They've done a lot of hard work so far this season and not going to throw it away.
Clearance from Dawson.
I think with Deseo, what he was maybe slightly casual there, where it was just bouncing up. He thinks he's got a lot more time, but just speaking to people before the game, the pitch is a bit cut up. There is a few bobbles here and there. It has been a bit of a frosty morning, so not make an excuse for followed defenders, but it could have had something to do with the pitch. But still, a player of his quality should be able to deal with it.
That's such a fantastic start of the season as well. Back at Wigan, Arian Deseo. Kavanagh, cleared by Dawson. Now Keane. Davids. The goal taking Robbie Keane within one of his half century for Tottenham in his 131st game for the club. A lot of those appearances have been as a substitute. 9 this season alone.
Tell you what he didn't do, Jim. He didn't give up. He didn't be frustrated by the ball.
Trying to get in again. Mike Pollock just stretching out his arms, able to make a good save.
Yeah, that would do the goalkeeper the world of good there. But again, it's clever play. Mido there just flicks it in. But look at the goalkeeper. He comes out. He's alive. I tell you, if he doesn't get the ball, Robbie Keane goes down. It's a penalty. But that would give the goalkeeper a bit of confidence.
Pollock will be grateful that he didn't make any contact with Robbie Keane when he was bursting forward. He raced out the penalty area. Had he caught him, he would have been sent off, no doubt about it.
No, that's right. He's obviously last man. It was going in there. but he just come out, he's anticipating that Gazoo's going to be comfortably on the ball, so his starting position is quite deep. But it's unusual for that man because he's been such a rock for wherever he's played, whether it's Portsmouth or times before at Wigan. He's experienced enough, he'll get on with the game. And like you were saying, Jim, as well, him, Concho have been ever present, Francis, and that's why Wigan have been able to maintain their form, maintain their belief, because they've had the spine and a team that's played in every game.
Bullard loses the ball in the midfield. Nido. Tainio. Supplier of the pass for the Robbie Keane goal. Straight into Chimbonda this time. Lee. King. Fall from Davids, and Tainio, the former Auxerre player, making the run forward. But in the end was pushing it back to Chimbonda. Foul by the Finnish international. Free kick to Wigan, but it's Tottenham that have the lead. Third goal of the season for Robbie Keane. They've all come away from home. This the pass from Tainio.
Yeah, it's just concentration there with Gazoo, but once he gets there, look at Robbie Keane, he doesn't panic. He's nice and cool, and it's a superb little finish with the side of his foot. It'll be one that the skipper want to make amends now.
Free kick finding Kavanagh in space. Jason Roberts. He's done well, very well. In the end, Carrick back to cover a role that he performed so well. He's conceded another corner.
Every time I see Roberts, he impresses me. He's powerful, he's strong, but he thinks about the game as well. He's such an important part for Wigan. He's strong, he's positive, everything that a defender don't want to come up against.
Another dangerous ball in, very dangerous indeed. McCulloch so close to an equaliser, claiming that he was shoved.
Yeah, he should score. It's a great delivery in by Bullard. McCulloch there just gets a slight nudge from Mido, but really he should do enough there at least to put Paul Roberts under pressure there. Superb delivery again.
He scored the winner against Bolton in August. Lee McCulloch, who is now the longest serving player here at Wigan, along with fellow Scot Steve McMillan, who's out of the picture with a hamstring injury at the moment. Roberts doing well to hold it up. In the end, Stalteri able to take it off his toes. Davids, Tainio, Lee.
He does that position so well, Lee. The thing with Tottenham, the midfield is very, very narrow, so it does mean that Stalteri and Lee as full-backs for Tottenham have got to push on. Both of them good athletes and give you that outlet when you need it as a midfield player.
Carrick pressurised by Kavanagh. Feel that they've done a lot of the hard work already. Wigan have only conceded 14 goals in their last 19 matches. That's half a season. Just the 14 goals against in that time. Whole host of clean sheets this season. 6 for Filan, 2 for Pollitt. Spurs taking less than 10 minutes to break through here.
They are, though, Jim, with Wigan. They're used to winning games, you know. They've had good promotions, they've gone up, they've hit the ground running. So they haven't come under a chance where they've lost maybe 2 or 3 games. So it'll be a big test for them coming up.
Camera snatched at his shot. That gave Dawson a chance to clear that he wouldn't have been expected. Chimbonda now. That's the other side of Robbie Keane's game, defending from the front.
Yeah, he just snatches his shot here, you're absolutely right. Gets into an area here. Just get it on target, but he scuffs it away, and Dawson's there just to clear the lines. But there is a little bit of panic every time that the 2 centre-forwards of Wigan get on the ball.
5 goals here in the first half last week. potentially, you can see 5 being scored in the first half this week as well.
I'll settle for that, Jim, I tell you.
Here's Keane. Got one already. Carrick. Almost managed to throw it back through for Robbie Keane. Tottenham fans urging Carrick to shoot. It's on the basis that he hasn't scored in his last 70-odd games. Dawson. Good acquisition he's been from Nottingham Forest. Carrick making his 50th Spurs appearance today. Another intelligent pass, this time for Stalteri. Genus. Really wanted the ball played early. Ancho's got back goal side of him now. Another good switch of play from the Spurs midfield. Lee brought into it this time. Mido down for Robbie Keane, just behind him. Mido might get another opportunity. Chimbonda's impeccably timed challenge concedes the corner. Had he not got that right, it would have been a penalty and real trouble.
No, he recovered very well. The ball's ricocheting around a little bit, but he adjusts very well. Just gets a lunge in there. Just tuck it off of Mido's feet there, just as they're about to have a shot. But good defending.
Well done very well in that attack, Spurs, to isolate Chimbonda. 2 against 1. Mido's awareness of what was around him, just unable to see him knock the ball down for Robbie Keane. It's Tottenham's first corner of the game, and it's a safe play for Mike Pollock.
Yeah, I think what Tottenham are doing very well. Now they've got that goal under their belt, it's just settled them down a little bit, but they're interchanging so well in midfield. Whether it's Genus coming across here on the left-hand side, Carrick maybe just sitting next to Davies. They're interchanging, their passing is so good. That allows the full-backs to push on when they need to. They've just got a nice blend about there. They've got a lot of experience as well. Good legs in there. And if Tottenham are really going to push on and be a European team, they've got to come to places like here and get results.
Kavanagh. Zayu. It's best not to let his earlier error affect him. Jimmy Bullard. Still little chance of being able to receive that pass from Jimmy Bullard.
Yeah, they just seem to have lost their way a little bit, particularly in midfield. As I said, the Tottenham midfield 4 are really dictating the game so far. They're interchanging very well, and it's hard for the 4 midfielders of Wigan to get close to people.
Tenyo. Davids chases with Onshow. And the veteran Swiss defender who won the race.
Yeah, he's been a very good buy as well, and so is that man Davids. He's come in there, his experience, and what I've liked about him, it's not about him. He's gone in there, he wants to encourage, he wants to help the younger players, and he's still as hungry as he was when he was 22, let alone when he's 32. His desire to win balls, tackle, encourage people into games has been a big part of Tottenham's success this season.
Swung in very deep, too deep ultimately. King was wrestling at the back post with McCulloch.
Tell you what, McCulloch's not even looking at the ball. It happens more and more now in the Premiership. You can see he's not even looking at the ball. He's got no intentions of going for the ball. And I'll tell you what, King's got a good chance there for a claim of a penalty decision, because he's made no attempt there to get the ball.
Baines. Kavanagh. Chimbonda taking on Tenyo and beating him. Kavanagh. Second time this afternoon he's come close to that top right-hand corner.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for him at the moment. Left foot, right foot. He does that job so well in front of the back 4 there with his left foot. It's a decent strike, but not putting Roberts under any trouble whatsoever. But again, it's good. They're picking up the second ball. They're keeping the momentum of the game going, keeping the pressure on. But until yet, Paul Roberts not really had to have a save of note.
touch a little bit too heavy.
Yeah, he's quick, but he's not that quick. But he gives you that problem as well. He goes to show short, then he goes long. But Martin Yard will be pleased with the ways, particularly his back four have defended. The two centre-halves have been outstanding, but they've had to be because the two centre-forwards of Wigan are strong, powerful, direct.
Alex Cribley, the Wigan physio, served this club for a long time. And he was a member of the Wigan side that played against Bournemouth, the last league match that George Best ever played in his career. David Lowe on the coaching staff, along with Alex Cribley, also played in that game. Here's Chimbonda, pulls it back. Roberts just a little bit flat-footed, couldn't get there. Spurs looking a bit shaky at times.
Tell you what though, any time there's a problem, it might be King, it might be Dawson, but them two are strong, powerful defenders there. They're just trying to be too clever. They put it into an air, but look at Dawson, reads the situation, coming away with the ball.
Lee. Davids. Keane trying to turn his man. Has he managed it? Got the shot in, surely being pulled back. Robbie Keane thought that was a nailed-on penalty. Stefan Onsho relieved.
Yeah, it was a great little ball in by Davison. Look at Keane, he does so well, just backs into him. Onsho's pulling him back. Keane just can't really get a good strike on it, but I think it's referee's in a very good position. Yeah, there is a little bit of contact in there, but to be fair, Robbie Keane just backing into the defender. Referee shaking his head. No, he's not having any of it.
Well, Mike Riley's given 4 penalties this season so far. Should it have been 5?
I think there is contact in there, but before that, Robbie Keane's backing into him there, giving the defender some problems. I think he's more frustrated that he didn't make a better contact on the strike.
Well, brought down by Tenio. The best shot of Edgar Davids' career. 3 Italian titles, 3 Dutch titles, European Cup and a UEFA Cup in his illustrious career.
It's not bad, is it? And he's still as hungry and desire as ever as well. He's come in there. And as we're talking about Tottenham having a good squad, look, got people like that warming up on the bench. Defoe, people that can change the game. And that's something that Tottenham and particularly Martin Yard has brought into them this season. Away from home, they've looked solid, they don't cave in. They've got a game plan. And they've got people as well on the bench that can change the game as well.
Everybody talks about the progress that Wigan have made. On the side of the fact that Tottenham are also much better year on year. 8 points and 8 places better off than at this time last season.
Yeah, there has been a lot of money, there has been a big investments, but they're producing, they're getting results. You know, you rightly said they haven't lost too many games. They'd like to have won more than they've drawn, and particularly last Sunday was one of them games that it would have felt like a defeat, losing a goal in the last minutes. But they are a team capable of good football, winning games, home and away, and that's something that Tottenham have added to their game. At home at White Hart Lane, you know they play good football, but sometimes on their travel, but this season it's been a different story.
Roberts battling, but ultimately losing out to Carrick, who really has excelled in that deep midfield role this season. Ubiquitous Keane loses out to Kavanagh. Forward towards camera. Goal side of Ledley King. Good recovery by King though, forced him wide. And ensured that he couldn't get a shot in the end. All Wigan get is a throw.
Yeah, again, they break so quickly, Wigan. He just couldn't get out of his feet quick enough. Robbie Keane elaborating too much in midfield. Nice pass by Roberts. There, I think he can take it maybe with his left foot, but good defending by King, ushering him away from goal.
Baines. Jermaine Genus. Well, I think he might pick up a yellow card here. Free kick taken quickly. Kavanagh!
So what, he's getting closer. Right foot, left foot, as we said. The ball's coming at you. They move it so quickly. Great technique. So what, if that's on target, I think Paul Roberts will have to make an outstanding save.
This is Michael Carrick now for Tottenham. Looks for Keane, but he's offside.
Yeah, it's a waste there by Tottenham. It's a good break by Robbie Keane. But one thing Wigan do well, they all filter back, they work hard, they get themselves back into a defensive area. That time the keeper picking the ball up. There, he's positive, he runs at him. I think he's trying to pick out Davis here just on the edge of the box. But in the end it rolls to Mido. Mido trying to be a little bit too clever, and in the end they get bodies back.
Foul this time on Damien Francis. Free kick to Wigan. Bullard and Kavanagh in tow for Wigan. It's not the kind of position that you want to give a set piece away. Leighton Baines stands over it with Kavanagh. Matazeu and Roberts both at the back post. I wonder if there'll be a subtle variation from Wigan. It's knocked away for Baines. It's brilliantly worked and so close to an equaliser. A smashing set piece, and they were unlucky.
Yeah, he's impressed me, Baines. I tell you what, this is excellent play as well. It's unfortunate it just comes off a Wigan defender, because that would have put Paul Roberts under pressure there. Fantastic strike.
No push on camera by Ledley King. Camera brings it forward, clearly caught there by Davids, and this will be the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, he's just been done by the pace of camera there. Edgar Davids trying to explain what he thought had gone on, but the referee's made a decision straight away. It's just been done by the power and the pace. He's just come across, you can see there, he's had a little look, just put his side of his body in the line of Camera's run. This is a great opportunity for Wigan.
Their last one before half-time. In from Bullard, very deep, over the head of Dorset. Back through a crowd of players and away from everybody. Poor touch from McCulloch on his weaker foot, and he knows it.
Yeah, it's a waste, really. Paul Jewell won't be happy with that. Just put it back into an area. You can tell him, look, put it back into an area.
Half-time whistle goes with Tottenham in sixth, leading second place Wigan, courtesy of Robbie Keane's goal, set up by a defensive error from Marian Dezeu. Spurs might have had a penalty. Mike Riley, though, said there was no foul on Robbie Keane, when many protested otherwise. At half-time, it's Wigan 0, Tottenham 1. Spurs, so far, so good. Looking for their third away win of the season. They've already won at Portsmouth and at Charlton. They've never lost when they've taken the lead in a Premiership game this season, and they lead here courtesy of Robbie Keane's 8th-minute goal. Can they build on it, or will Wigan be able to produce some of the devastating football which we've seen in the early season from them to get themselves back into the game? It's a wonderful piece of play by Camera, unrewarded because neither Roberts nor Bullard could get there, but it was a fantastic, incisive cross into a very dangerous area. On show, able to steady the ship and get it back to Mike Pollitt. Early touch for the man in for John Filan today. Still inside the first minute of the second half, Warren.
Yeah, I think that's ideal for Wigan. Just get the ball down the side, Camera Roberts, run people, put them into... Defenders don't like coming out of certain areas.
Chimbonda came to meet it with Tainio, who has gone to ground. The ball went past them both, and Chimbonda, kind of enamoured either Tainio or the referee with his reaction, tried to help him forcibly back to his feet.
He just caught him on his toe there, just on the outside of his foot. But as we were saying before, I think Wigan are better when it's a high tempo, get closer to them in midfield. I think that's something that Paul Jewell would have said at half-time. When we have a high tempo, we can hurt people.
Forward from King. Baines ready for the ball to bounce. On show, heading Carrick's cross away, and Davids putting it out of play.
For Wigan, they've just got to maybe give it 10-15 minutes. They have got options on the bench. Connolly, they can come on, a good goal scorer. But I think, you know, when it's still 1-0 and you're at home, you expect them to lift themselves for the second half. But if not, there is options out there.
Baines. Roberts unable to find his strike partner. Dawson clearing cavernous header. Carrick taking control ahead of Davids, but only finding Bullard. He's bent it cleverly around Tainio for Chimbonda. Bullard in support. Three in the centre. Pacey cross. Not the best cross, but as a shot towards the top left-hand corner, it wasn't a bad effort.
Yeah, Bullard definitely a cross, but he nearly caught Paul Roberts out. But he always wants the ball. He's always positive. He's looking to really whip his foot round it there. But England's number one, just safely to see that drop over the far post for a goal kick. But I think we're going to a better team when he gets on the ball, when he makes things happen. He's got so much energy. He's direct.
Dawson. All by on show. Kavanagh trying to get the ball under control. Genius making life difficult for him, and it took a horrible bounce ahead of Chimbonda. Couldn't afford to get caught in possession there, and got it safely back for Pollitt. Kavanagh. Dawson coming to meet it with McCulloch and staying down injured. And because it's a head injury, Mike Riley stops play straight away.
Yeah, normally with Dawson, if he stays down, it's normally a hefty tackle there, but he's been so powerful in the heart of defence with King next to him. He was captain a few weeks ago for the under-21s, but there, it's an arm that's gone across. It has hit him in the face, but to be fair to McCulloch, he's looking at the ball, he's got no intention there. Dawson has been a good buy. If you like, he's an old-fashioned defender. He likes defending, he likes getting hit by the ball. He'll stick his head in there, he'll go to ground when he needs to.
He's clearly hurt.
As I said, he's a big man. He doesn't normally stay down too often.
On show. Baines can't keep it in. I think that the way Wigan play, they're more suited in many ways to playing away from home, letting sides come onto them.
Yeah, I think you only go by results what they have, but particularly at home and that, they like to play a high tempo. But if teams have got something to hold on to, have been gifted a goal, they can run the clock down, kill the game if you like. But what I've seen so far, I've been impressed, particularly early parts of the first half when they've got the ball down the side, particularly into Roberts. This time there, McCarthy involved yet again, trying to plead his innocence.
Well, it did look as though Jenas tripped over his own feet there. It'd be controversial if Spurs were to score a second from this. Carrick in deep for Tainio. And they very nearly did score a second. Only a good save from Pollitt. Keeps it at 1-0.
Yeah, Pollock does well there, because just before you see Dawson go across his line, just as he has a shot here, Dawson's in front of him, and the goalkeeper does well just to keep his eye on the ball. Again, yes, it's a nice height, reasonable power, but just with Dawson getting in his line, he's had to keep his concentration.
Carrick's corner. That was a good header. Still Wigan can't get it away. And Jenas' header into a crowded 6-yard box. They are creating the better opportunities in front of goal, Spurs.
Yeah, I think they look the more threatening team when they do get in there. They've got that little bit more quality in that final area.
Lee, Tainio, at his best with Keane and Mido in the centre.
No, Tainio's not. He's not a left winger. He's out there just doing a job, or just tucking into an area. But as I said, you give it 10-15 minutes, and Paul Jewell has obviously thought the same.
He's going to make the first change. David Connolly poised to come on. On show. Keane. Again getting possession from a Wigan error. And now it's a Wigan throw. And only after the change is going to be made, and it'll be Damien Francis that will come off for Wigan, and David Connolly that will come on, which will necessitate a slight change in formation and tactics.
Yeah, I think with David Connolly just sitting in the hole behind Camara and Roberts. Bullard are just squeezing a little bit into midfield, make it a little bit more narrow, and just maybe have Connolly just trying to semi-occupy Michael Carrick, so when Tottenham have got the ball, but when Wigan do have the ball, he's got the opportunity to join in.
David Connolly started his season at Leicester. Scored his first Premiership goal on his Wigan debut against West Brom. And he has a quarter of the game in which to make an impact today. Camera. No handball. And Show getting it back for Pollitt.
Yeah, it's positive by the manager. Wigan manager, he just feels that there are goals in this team. They've got enough time as well going into the final third of the game that they can drag themselves back into it. But to be honest, they've not really put Tottenham under enough pressure, particularly the back four in the opening periods of the first half, but since then it's been very quiet.
Challenged by Chimbonda on Davids. Just for a moment looked as though it was going to be a flashpoint. In the end it was mutual admiration.
No, I think with Edgar Davids, he gives as good as he gets. Model professional. You don't win and play as high as he does if you're not committed, if you haven't got desire.
Jenas. Carrick, who's lost it, no foul. This is David Connolly, Roberts ahead of him. Bullard to his left. And the move breaks down as quickly as it started.
Yeah, he's had a look straight away at the pitch as well, because it did bubble up in him.
Forward towards Robbie Keane, unable to spin round the back of Onshow. Baines. A very direct route. Dawson in the way. McCulloch. Connolly to Kavanagh. Bullard, Chimbonda. Lovely touch. Camera towards Connolly, but he's not got the height advantage to be able to win 50-50 aerial challenges with Dawson. Roberts standing firm, peels for handball. Lee was the player, but he was at such close quarters. He just fired into it.
Yeah, I think it was more hope than anything else really. But this is better. At least they're keeping a bit of pressure. They're picking up the second ball.
Baines couldn't keep it in. Mike Riley turned down a penalty shout in the first half at that same end for Tottenham. This was the Lee handball.
No, like you got it right, spot on, Jim. It just hit him. He had no intention to even turn his body away. So, in that respect, referee, correct.
Jimmy Bullard for Baines. Was caught in possession by Genus. Dawson covering, good touch by Connolly. Roberts is onside. No, he's not. Flag up very late against Jason Roberts.
Yeah, he did. He put it up so late as well. I know he's active. Is he active, inactive? That time it was so late going up the flag. You can see, yes, it's the correct decision. But look, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds.
The big gun still forward. Wigan have another chance to launch it into the Tottenham danger area. And Bullard has not been at his best today. Can't beat Timu Tainio. Onjo just lost his footing. Edgar Davids, still Davids. Mido makes a space for him, and Edgar Davids scores a superb goal. 2-0 to Tottenham, his first in English football, and Wigan are on their way to back-to-back defeats.
That is a top-class finish by a top-class player. They've worked hard in midfield and he's been the main stick why. Again he breaks, clever play by Bobby Keane, but look at Mido's run here. He takes the zoo into an area he doesn't want to be, and then it's 2 against 1, and it's just sheer power and pace. It's a fantastic strike. Mido does well, isolates the zoo now, he's got him on his heels, but Edgar Davids goes across the goalkeeper with a fantastic strike with his left foot. 2-0 for me, could be game over. Just skips underneath the goalkeeper. May being critical, have a little go at the goalkeeper, but for me Edgar Davids has made that. He's been powerful, he's drove on. It's a great strike.
Well, Paul Jewell, body language says it all. Roberts' touch, Connolly went up for it and was away holding his face. He was caught inadvertently by King. This is Robbie Keane. Tainio. Mido is onside. He's got nothing in the way of support inside the penalty area. Here is Mido. Vital touch by Baines, and he knows that he's caught Jermaine Genus. Baines trying to get play stopped straight away, to his eternal credit, and Genus really hurt.
Yeah, Genus is brave there, but to be fair to Baines, straight away as he's defended the ball very well. I think he's just been kicked on the top of the head there, but when you're 2-0 up away from home, they don't always hurt as much as they do. But again, it's clever play by Mido, isolating Dezu again, 1 against 1. Good defending. Genus has been brave. It's just a follow through of the boot and the head, an accidental collision. But for me, Tottenham's been a very good away performance. They've looked nice and solid at the back. Midfield, they've been able to dictate the rhythm of the game, and up front with Robbie Keane and Mido, they've always looked a threat.
Good afternoon for Chris Hughton and Martin Yol. Still 2 goals up with 7 minutes to go. Looking at how things can be improved. On show. Tottenham lost 2 points late on against West Ham last week. Surely the same can't happen. Here's McCulloch. That's one back.
I said to you, they won't give up. They'll always put balls into certain areas. McCulloch, who's had a eventful afternoon, should we say, with certain decisions and free kicks. They are patient with the ball. They get a little bit fortunate. It's a great strike across the goal. Paul Roberts, all he can do is pull it into the path of McCulloch, and he tucks it away. And we've always said one thing with this team: they won't give up.
A minute and a half plus stoppage time, of which there could be plenty. Wigan bringing it forward again. McCulloch, the goal scorer. Connolly's just run out of room. There could be as much as 4 minutes to be added on at the end of this game. And Martin Jol desperately hoping that lightning doesn't strike twice. They had the chances to get the 3 points against West Ham last week and were pegged back with a very late equaliser. And has Lee McCulloch's goal been the foundation for the same thing to happen 6 days later here in Wigan?
Wigan did really was went a little bit more direct. They was patient to an extent when they kept the ball, but then they just put it into an area. They get a little bit fortunate, but Karanov does a great shot on the turn. Roberts can only just palm it into McCulloch's path, and that's the only time really that they've given them the opportunity to put them under some sort of pressure.
Kavanagh. Davids. Back to Stalteri. Mido's onside. Pollock will be there first. Confirmation that there will be 4 minutes added on. A roar of approval from the Wigan supporters, who believe that that could be time enough for them. Stalteri is going to get a yellow card for time wasting.
I think the referee's right. He's had plenty of time to pick the ball up. You know, you use a little bit of experience and kill the game. That's only natural.
Foul on Mido. Foul by Mido, my apologies. Everybody forward for Wigan, even Stefan Onsho. Taken by Baines. Awkward bounce on the turn. Camera couldn't get the shot in, but there was a foul in any case.
Yeah, there's a push on Dawson there. As you see there, Jason Roberts does well, and it's just a little push in Dawson's back there by Camera. But his shot on the turn was outstanding, and Robinson, all he could really do was just palm it into the path, and that's really given the home fans something to cheer about.
Forward from Pollock. Wigan in a real hurry to do everything now. Bullard. Dawson comes to meet it. Forward from McCulloch. Away by Dawson again. Roberts. Bullard. Spectacular against Arsenal last week, but not so this week.
Now you fancied him as well. It just set up nicely for him. Again, he's picked up the second ball, but it's just technique, just leaning back, got underneath the ball. But I'll tell you what, Dawson and King, they're earning their money today. They've been outstanding at the heart of defence, clearing their lines when they have to do, putting their bodies in the way. And really, Paul Robinson has only had to make one save that's unfortunately had to palm it into the path of McCulloch.
Wigan fans urging Paul Robinson to get on with it. McCulloch. Carrick doesn't deserve to be on the losing side today. Certainly deserves to be a winner. And Tottenham almost there now. on show. King. Kavanagh. Hit and hope from Leighton Baines. Robinson came a long way to meet it. Juggled, but got there.
Yeah, tell you he was under control when he come out there.
By Stalteri. Camera. Robinson able to guide it wide.
I think if you're being honest and you look over the 90 minutes, Tottenham have deserved it. I think they've had that little bit more quality when they've needed it, particularly in the final third. They've worked hard as a unit in midfield. Give Wigan some problems, but I tell you what, take nothing away from Wigan. They don't give up.
It's victory for Tottenham. Edgar Davids' first goal in English football sees Martin Jol celebrate his 50th game in charge of Spurs with a win that lifts them to within a point of Wigan in the upper echelons of the table. This was a match which Spurs would have felt if they wanted to have a good European run, or the chance for a run into the European places for next season, they would have to win, and they have won. For Wigan, it's back-to-back home defeats at the start of a very difficult run of fixtures. Their critics will say the bubble has burst. They will plead otherwise. Full-time, Wigan 1, Tottenham 2.
Well, Paul, second successive home defeat. How frustrated are you by that, or can you take positives out of the performance today?
Well, I mean, we didn't play as well. That's probably our least effective performance at home this season. But we've gifted them a goal after the first. I mean, we had them on a back foot early on in the first attack. Not even attack, really. It's a long ball. We make a mistake and it's in the back of the net. You know, we kept going. We just didn't have the cutting edge in the final third where it mattered today. And we got done on a break. They changed their system to match us up, which is probably a backhand compliment to us. And yeah, I mean, they caught us on a break second half, but we never threw in the towel. We kept going. And there wasn't a lot of quality in the final third from all parties today, but you know, we're still third in the league.
After some of the victories when I've spoken to you this season, you've been trying to play down the result. I get the impression that you're just trying to keep everybody's heads up and chins up this time. Is that right?
I think I'm just trying to keep things in perspective, Jim. You know, we're third after 13 games. We've got 25 points. And that's a hell of a total, you know, for a promoted team to have, and not just a promoted team, a team that everyone thought would go straight back down without a trace. So we're happy with our points tally. We're disappointed tonight because we hate losing football matches. Yeah, and we know the next 3 games are as tough as you're going to get in this league. But that's what we're in this league for. That's why we've travelled the length and breadth of the country playing Colchester and Torquay, and that's why the supporters should enjoy these next 3 games, whatever happens.
Well, congratulations, Martin. It was a hard-earned victory today.
Yeah, we are delighted. You know, when you come up to a team like Wigan, you could say you have to analyse them, but everybody knows how they play. They're one of the teams who play in an English style, and then they have all the ingredients to play well. They work hard up front. They chase you. They pressurise you, and that is not difficult to play against. But I think, after all, you know, at the end of the game, you realise that they maybe never created one chance. I can't remember Robinson making one save. And it was still difficult, but I think we did well. We matched them in effort, and that is what you have to do, and I'm proud of my team.
Do you feel as though you had a little bit of luck with the first goal?
Of course, but if you take our goals, you know, we conceded 9 goals this season, and 7 of them are mistakes made by our own players, and that is football, so you need a bit of luck sometimes.
It was a good finish by Robbie Keane, again keeping Jermaine Defoe out of the starting lineup today. Healthy competition for places.
That is all what you want, you know. If Jermaine Defoe, and he's a good pro, he will get motivation out of this, because Jermaine Defoe is a very important player for us, and he scored 14 or 15 first goals in the last 12 months. So he's a very good pro, and it's about the team, and he knows that, you know. And Robbie Keane worked very hard last week. he scored a goal again, so I'm delighted with my squad.
Well, congratulations, Robbie. Back-to-back starts for the first time this season must have been a relief for you, and it didn't take you long to have an impact.
Yeah, of course, it's nice to get a couple of games under your belt. You know, it's all well and good training, working hard, and we need match fitness. And lucky enough, the last couple of games I've started now, and long may that continue.
It was a very good time to score your first goal in England.
Yeah, it was the second goal, and it was also the winning goal, so it was a perfect opportunity.
There is no doubt that after this and the Arsenal defeat last week, some critics somewhere will talk about bubbles bursting or headline writers. What would your response to that be, Paul?
Well, I think my response would be about little judges after 38 games, and I've said that all along. People, this batch of 5 games would test any team in the country, never mind little Wigan. So, they can say what they like, they can write what they like, and it won't affect the way we go about our job, it won't affect the players, because we know what we're good at, and we know that we've got enough in that dressing room, and maybe it's a bit more in January to do more than stay up. That's our objective, and I can't stop people talking.
So welcome win for Tottenham. That's back-to-back defeats for Wigan, but I imagine they're still delighted with their excellent league position. After the break, Graham Stewart is here to take a look at the day's highs and lows, as Lampard breaks a record and scores a goal as Chelsea march on. Robin van Persie gets one of the goals of the season for Arsenal. And just how priceless will Julian Gray's goal be for Birmingham come May?